Welcome to Goodnight, Robin, your someone to say goodnight to. I'm your host, Robin Rice. Tonight, I'm thinking about change. I've long said to people, if you are not in the business of helping people learn how to change and make changes, you might be in the wrong business these days. Change seems to be the only thing on the menu, at least in the work that I do. And self-change is what personal growth and spiritual growth and all of that is really about, is how do we change? How do we grow? Because all growth is a change. And I love this quote by Anatole France. It says, "All changes, even the most longed for, have their melancholy. For what we leave behind is part of ourselves. We must die to one life before we can enter another." I've often thought over the years that we die and are reborn within our own life so many times, based on the era of our life. I'll never be 5 or 6 or 7 again. I'll never be 13 or 14 again. I'll never be 20 or 21 again. Those eras of my life are over. And my children, they won't be 3 or 4 again. I've mentioned this before. The idea that an era is an ending. We're so afraid of the word death, but I think we should use it more often because I don't think it's something to be afraid of. I know a lot of people are, so if you are, I don't say that glibly. But I would say that for me, the idea of something dying and then being reborn is actually really exciting. I mean, in a way, a tree does that with its leaves every year. If a tree does that every year, then there's a lesson in that. Nature is telling us something. So to me, that's really exciting to say that we can leave a part of ourselves behind. And what if we got to think about what part we wanted to leave behind? What things no longer serve us anymore? What ways that we've been no longer work anymore? I know when I was young, I was like super, super addicted to sugar and fats. That's how I managed my moods. The sugar picked me up and the fats, when I was, too high would pull me down and calm me down. And I had no idea I was doing that. I was not conscious of doing that. But later I realized, wow, I've been doing that for years. And so I learned to not do that anymore. I learned to not use sugar as the gateway drug to everything else in life, which many people have. And I've actually learned to live largely without sugar anymore. The younger me couldn't have done that. I mean, she wasn't ready. But as I grew, I left her behind because her ways weren't really serving me. And so now today, for me, sugar is not just sugar, but sugar is any junk food, any grain, anything that doesn't really work for my body. And I still have some, but I'm definitely able to work with that. And I see that as a kind of identity growth, a part of me that can grow, that decided, you know what, this managing my emotions through food isn't how I want to live anymore. And so I don't manage it that way. Sometimes food is absolutely a celebration, and I'll say, you know what, this is have a great time weekend, and I'll use it for joy, or sometimes, not very often, but I would say I have a nice cup of tea when I'm feeling a little sad. I think of my Irish friends and I have a cup of tea. So it's not super cut and dry, but for the most part, it changes. So I'm wondering tonight about what you might be ready to outgrow, something in you that doesn't work as well. And could you think of it as an outgrowing? And that there's a death, a grieving process, a way of being that has to go before something new can emerge. I think about this for myself quite a lot, and I bring it into my morning meditations and all that good stuff. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you. It's a quote that has meaning for me. I hope you have a wonderful night's sleep, my friend. Good night.